Hey, what's up, people? If anybody decides to tune in on this, that'd be cool. But if not, that's cool too. Maybe this is just my video cyber diary today. Random thoughts. It's funny, I've been hearing, especially with all this COVID mess that's been going on, and I'm not going to get too heavy on that because I know that, there's some legitimate concern, but then maybe some things are being blown out of proportion. But I think that there's still a lesson that can be taken from all of this. And there's so many things that's out of our control. And I think it's interesting that when I listen to a lot of people, when they talk about some things that makes them the most bothered in life, it's just interesting because it seems to be the same answer in some way, which is not being in control. So I started thinking about that. And I guess maybe that's the inherency of the human condition is that in some way you're fed the idea that everything is up to you. Your choices you make in life, your thoughts, your feelings. And I think that we kind of develop this idea that everything is 100% up to us and that we are the proprietors of our destination in one way or the other. But there's so many things that's out of our control. I look at how we get mad at the things that we can't control externally, but we can't even control ourselves internally. We barely can have our thoughts filtered to be a particular way and the things that we should or should not think, all of that kind of stuff. Controlling ourselves and what we should or should not do, not just to ourselves, but also other people. We lack self-control as individuals, yet we get upset with not being able to control all this external stuff when really we need to be focusing on the internal stuff. And that's some deep stuff. But I guess myself included, it took me a long time just to even see for myself that that is the greatest illusion of life. The fallacy or the idea that we are in control. We ain't in control of nothing. Look how, and I'm just using this loosely, let's just say if the COVID wasn't even true, that there was something else going on. But look at how the idea of that was brought into and how it affected everything: jobs, shopping, just even being close to each other, everything. And how, like, a lot of stuff was out of our hands, just like that. And the whole world being affected by that. I think that it's going to be interesting to see what lessons people take and how people conduct themselves after all this stuff kind of quote unquote blows over in some way. But me being in finance and understand that most people lack the understanding on managing their money and credit and things of that nature, it proved to me one thing, that at least I know what I'm talking about in terms of if you can't do nothing else, you need to master the dollar. What I mean by that, controlling your spending, make sure you have a savings, make sure you have a plan that if something happened that you stop working today and can't work for the next 2, 3 months, whatever, what are you going to do? How are you going to take care of yourself? How are you going to take care of the people that you care about or responsible for? And most people don't have that answer. And it's crazy to see how you got all these retarded people, acting like they're ready to kill the governor or something like that because of this and act like she's restricting our rights. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with everything that she's doing, but regardless of the choices that she's making from a legal or a legislative point of view, doesn't make it okay for people to threaten this lady's life either. That's crazy. That's not even remotely justified, but just to show you the lunacy of people. And I think that comes from the idea of that we want to feel so empowered and control that has created all this megalomania that we'll go to any lengths to feel it, even if it's not even real. Kind of like the US dollar. Since we ain't on the gold standard and our dollars ain't been worth nothing except the idea of what we think it is, but they're printing money like crazy and it's just paper, ain't backed by nothing. But that's another conversation in itself. But it's just interesting to see that idea that people are willing to threaten this lady just because of that. So I don't know, but I'm hoping that the few of us will wake up and at least learn that the best thing we can do is learn how to at least get control of ourselves and start trying to do the things that we need to do to hopefully ensure our personal survival as well as for the people that we are responsible for, knowing that I believe there's going to be something else coming. There's always something. And it's going to be something that may shake the world even greater than what has happened now with the COVID. And if we can barely handle this, whew, God help us if it's something even, I don't even know. I don't even know. But we'd be foolish not to think it ain't going to be something else, because it is. And that's not to live your life in fear, but it's that what lessons can we get out of what's happened now to at least put ourselves in a better position to be straight? And what do we need to do internally as a work, as individuals, to be better people for ourselves and maybe even challenge our own thoughts and feelings about how we see life, especially when it comes to just trying to make it and live, you know? Another thing I was thinking about is just how, God, all this political crap that's going on just in terms of we live in the offensive society, man. You can't say or do nothing without somebody getting crazy. Compared to just, all right, you can say something that I don't agree with what you're saying, but I'm not going to be like, you a bleep and this and that and all this crazy stuff, man. And, you know, all this divisiveness, whether it be from religion, sexual orientation, political stance, income level, colorism. I mean, you name it. Anything that can divide, there's a label for it. And I think that it's more things that we should be concerned about being in common to come together than this kind of stuff. And I think that comes from that lack of control and insecurity that we have to have that idea of something that's different from us that we perceive to be negative to make ourselves feel better. So the perception of evil, which is not even really evil, it's just I'm so low level and so scared and so fearful that I got to put labels and everything in terms of a negative thing to see what I shouldn't be. And I just mean it from a bad way. Hopefully I'm making sense. So it's just dividing lines instead of seeing what's common ground for the betterment of all people, because the only way we're going to make it is together. And I think the part that I think that's more grievous for me is just how men and women are so at each other's throats. And me being a black man or labeled as that in America is even more irritating because there's so much issues in my culture in Black America for a whole host of reasons, especially just from how we even got here and a lot of psychological and emotional and mental and physical abuse that's been implemented on black people still has reverberating consequences to today. So it's just crazy watching how like everything's got to be at the expense of the other. So if the man is building himself up, it's usually you got guys that you're putting the woman down. Now the women's trying to be empowered, so they're trying to have that idea of, you know, strong and capable women. But then I see the other side of that where it's always at the expense that men are basically inferior when it comes to women. And that's coming from a place of brokenness too. And everybody seems to forget the big picture that, hey, we need each other. Because if men disappeared overnight, or if women disappeared overnight and the other was here, the human race would die out in 2 generations tops. And we all have something to contribute to each other because it really isn't even a gender thing. This is a people issue. And until we start seeing it as that, we're not going to be able to fix nothing. Which all circles back to what I was talking about earlier, where it comes back to individual self. So we need to be able to start at least challenging some of the things that we have brought into. Some of it's just mainly the unconscious thought. And hopefully this stuff will shake up, where start waking people up to start trying to seek their better selves. And hopefully start learning what we can do to be part of the solution instead of continuously being part of the problem. Because this Nothing's gonna be the same after this. This has changed everything. And I hope that we can start at least just be better people coming out of it, if nothing else. And we can't save the world, but we can save somebody. And the better equipped we are, the better we can see how to do it. That's all I got for now. Random thoughts at, I think it's after 12 probably. I should be doing homework. But I'm over here trying to give a commentary just to keep myself from handling my own responsibilities. Anyway, this is Shamari, or Mari as I would like you to call me. The Mari man. Yeah, or the Macho Mari. Yeah. Have a good night.